7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to my Summerslam 2016 review video. I'm not going to give a massive intro, I'm just going to get straight on with it. So the first matchup was Enzo and Cass versus Jericho and Kevin Owens. Enzo and Cass had like the home field advantage, as it were. As always, Enzo was awesome on the mic in that intro. Big Cass has got some serious pipes on him. The boy can sing. Who would have known it? Decent match. Shame about the result. Did say in my prediction video I had a gut feeling that Jericho would win, but I really hoped Enzo and Cass would. You know, like I said, given the fact that they were essentially hometown heroes. I was pissed off about this result, the way everything played out, so I was kind of dreading what else could possibly be in store. For those keeping count, none out of one of my predictions. Next up was Sasha versus Charlotte for the women's title. I wasn't as into this match as I'd hoped I'd be. I can only put that down to the fact that I watched it quite early this morning and I've not been up long. Maybe if I watch it again, then I'll be a bit more into it. Was a good match, but again, another terrible result. Charlotte, winning the title back. At this point, I really was dreading the rest of it. Those keeping count, like I said, none out of two of my predictions. Miz versus Cruz for the IC title. Miz retains. I was really starting to lose faith in this pay-per-view at this point. I was like, surely there's got to be some good news for the majority of people who wanted Sasha to retain, who wanted Enzo and Cass to win. Now I've had to sit through the Miz retaining. None out of three of my predictions, and like I said, really losing faith in the pay-per-view by this point. I was hoping that it would pick up and WWE would give the fans what they wanted. Up next, Styles versus Cena. Great match, best match so far. Not that it really had much to go up against. Styles got the win. Finally a hint of something that majority of fans wanted. 1 out of 4 of my predictions. Well happy that Styles won. Then Jon Stewart came out. He'd already done a backstage skit, but he was in the ring at this point. Am I missing something being in the UK? Because Jon Stewart just looked really ill to me. But it might just be fatigue, whatever. But he just looked ill. He introduced the next match, which was New Day and the Club. So what was a good match was yet again for the second year on the trot ruined by Jon Stewart, and then Big E made his big return. Wow. So the match gets thrown out, and at this point we're stuck with New Day as champions still. Yawn. Bored. So bored. So that puts me 1 out of 5. No, none out of 5. I'm not sure. Lost it. Like I said, I'd lost interest by this point. Ziggler versus Ambrose for the WWE World title, as it is now known. They've dropped the heavyweight bit. This, in my opinion, should have been the last match, being that it's for the WWE title. Great match. Brilliant to see Ambrose retain. I think that puts me 1 out of 6 on my predictions. For those keeping count and keeping score, and those who are interested. Next up was the 6-woman tag match. In my opinion, ideally placed for a toilet break, as that's what I used it for. Eva Marie obviously suspended. I did say in my other video I didn't know how this was going to play out, and so we found out who was replacing her. Nikki Bella. Just when I thought the women's division was on the up, Bella returns. So I'm guessing now that because shitty Bella returned, as opposed to boring Bella, the outcome of the match was changed. I'm sort of kind of guessing that Becky and Co should have won, but obviously because Nikki's back, that is a big deal. So the match outcome may have been changed, but that match was a steaming pile of turd and pretty much summed up what, in my opinion, the most of this pay-per-view have been up until the Cena Styles match. Next up was Rollins versus Balor for the Universal Championship. The belt was what a lot of people had said it would be, similar to the existing one, but with a different colour scheme. Nothing like the picture that have been doing the rounds on social media that I refer to as like the updated winged eagle. if I'm honest, I kind of like the belt. I know it's exactly the same as the women's and the world heavyweight title, or the world title as it is now. But I do like it. I like the red colour scheme and the black swoosh and everything. I think it looked quite nice. I did look for the replica on Euroshop once I finished watching the event, and it's not available until January 2017. So that gives me plenty of time to save up for one. So yeah, the match itself. Well, first off, I just want to address Finn Balor's entrance was awesome. I mean, I knew he'd go all out, given the fact that it's his first pay-per-view on the main roster. But it was just awesome, is the only word I can use to describe it. One question I do have, why was the match no DQ? Because when they made a point of announcing it, I expected somebody to interfere on Seth's behalf, whether it'd be like Triple H or something like that. But no, there was no interference. Eventually, Finn Balor came out with the win. I was so happy. I literally jumped off the sofa. It was just unbelievable. Another gripe I have with the booking of this event is that this should have been after the US title match, which I will come to in a bit, given the fact that it's Raw's main title, as opposed to the US, which is just a backup. I think that gave me two predictions right out of the 7 matches so far. Predicting Ambrose would win, predicted Styles, and predicted Balor, 3 out of 7 at this point. Then up was the supposed Rusev versus Reigns for the US title. Never happened. Rusev tried to get the best of Roman Reigns by jumping in before the bell. Massive brawl ensued. Reigns battered Rusev with a chair. The match got called out. Reigns got dragged to the back. And then as Rusev was on his way to leave, Reigns come flying down the ramp and speared him just like he did on Raw. Waste of time, really. Why put that there unless, again, that was used as a toilet break or people to go get merchandise or get food, whatever. Up next was the main event of the event, which to me shouldn't have been as big of a match as this was. It shouldn't have been the main event. The main title match should always be the main event. I know it's Brock Lesnar, and I'm a Lesnar fan, but I don't see why he automatically gets headline status. I mean, alright, he's getting paid stupid money for what he does, but still, it's not a title match. There's nothing to it. It's just a feud that's been brought up for Randy Orton to come back. Let's jump into a big feud. It gives Lesnar something to do at SummerSlam. There was no real major build-up to it other than, Randy Orton's coming back and he's going to face Lesnar. And then there was the, obviously, RKO on Raw, the F5 on SmackDown. Other than that, no real sort of major build-up to the story or anything. So, match starts off as you predicted. Lesnar's all over him, using his strength and everything. Went to the outside. Orton hit an RKO on Lesnar on the announce table. Went back into the ring as Lesnar went to come in. He spiked him with a DDT. Lesnar kicked out. Hit him with an F5. Orton kicked out. And then Lesnar took off his gloves. Then just started wailing on Orton's head. Used his elbows. Cut Orton open. Now this is where, in my opinion, it went really, really downhill very, very rapidly. So the doctor gets called into the ring to check on Orton, who is bleeding badly from the head. Lesnar then comes over, pushes the doctor out of the way, starts wailing on Orton some more. In my opinion, DQ. I know we see people push medical stuff out of the way and keep on wailing on people before, but not when they're bleeding. So straight away, in my opinion, that's a DQ. All day long. No. Referee tells Lesnar, get back in your corner. He does, comes back over, starts wailing on him again, and then the match gets thrown out. Lesnar wins by TKO, gets his hand raised, then goes back and carries on braying Orton. At this point, logically, the referee would have reversed the decision. Orton wins because Lesnar's carried on doing this. Shane McMahon comes running out of ringside, jumps into the ring, he's telling Lesnar, look, you've done what you want to do, back off. Lesnar picks up Shane, F5s him. Now, like I said, I like Lesnar. I do like Brock Lesnar. Last night, it was as if he sort of crossed the line. There's a difference between being a badass and being a complete dick. And last night, Lesnar looked like a dick. And then that was it. SummerSlam finished with Randy Orton laid in the ring in a pool of blood. And that's it. Lesnar walks out right smug and pleased with himself. And it's just like, what a shit ending. mind you, it was a shit ending to what was a shit pay-per-view. In my opinion, it was absolutely dirge. I feel sorry for anybody who stayed up to watch it. I especially feel sorry for those post odds who paid for it on cable or Sky or whatever, and paid top dollar in the US and big money over there for what was essentially just a complete turd fest. On a personal level, the only 3 matches I had in real interest in all turned out to be good matches, and that was the only redeeming feature of it for me. Those who watched it on the network will have got the fact that they got £10 for this month justified in NXT TakeOver on Saturday night. But SummerSlam itself, complete wipeout for me. So much potential, so little delivery. So those are my thoughts on last night's SummerSlam. Please feel free to comment. I'm pretty sure some people might disagree with what I've said about it and think, oh, it was an amazing event, blah blah blah. Leave your comments below. You're entitled to your opinion just as much as I am. So yeah, I'm not going to go on any more on this video, guys. That's it done. So yeah, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you soon with a new video. Bye for now.